정보가 뒷받침됩니다. 국가정보원에서는 감청, 국제상업, 국제범죄, 테러, 산업스파이, 사이버 안보 위협 신고 상담을 위한 1111 콜센터를 운영하고 있습니다. 신고, 상담 전화는 국번 없이 111번입니다. 이번역은 신금호역입니다. 내리실 문은 왼쪽입니다. This stop is 신금호. The doors are on your left. 이 역은 전동차와 승강장 사이가 넓으니 내리실 때 발 빠짐에 주의하시기 바랍니다. Please watch your step. 서울대 출신 의료진, 강남 365 치과로 가실 분은 신금호역 5번 출구로 나가시기 바랍니다.
Wow, coming here brings me way back. And good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, April 7th. The time is 11:39 a.m. and outside here in Seoul, Korea, the temperature is around 13 degrees Celsius. And back in 2007, when I hopped on a plane and moved to Korea, this was the first ever subway station I went to. This is Singeumho or Singeumho Station. And the reason for that was my first apartment was in between this and another station, Haengdong, or Haengdong. And on my first full day in Seoul, I went with another coworker who just arrived in the city, and we wanted to head over to an area called Itaewon. So we learned to navigate the transit system that night. And I remember the escalators being huge. And for this one, I'm going to be taking a walk through my old neighborhood. I lived in this area for 1 year, and I have no idea if the apartment I lived in is still there or not. It's an older, smaller, what they call a villa. I know a lot of the area has been knocked down and redeveloped, and I didn't want to cheat and look at Google Maps or anything like that. So I think I will head in the direction of Wangsimni. Looks like they're doing some work here. And we have ourselves another monster escalator, although they used to have this really cool kind of fake rock wall going on here, and they've replaced it with these tiles. Can't say I'm a huge fan of the change. It really felt like you were going deep into the middle of the earth, the way they used to have it. And this subway line opened in the mid to late 90s, I think around 1996. And at the time, it was the longest underground subway network in the world with a continuous tunnel on Line 5. I think today it ranked 7th. There you can see where the trains are at the moment, heading towards the station in each direction. That's a really nice touch to have here. Speaking of nice touches, there are bathrooms at most of the stations here. All right, so I'll tap out. So I think I paid a minimum fare of around 1,200 won. And this isn't like a popular neighborhood or anything. All right, and we're kind of in the bottom of a big pit. You'll see what I mean by that in a moment. And I have no idea. It's been a while. I only lived here for a year, and I left in 2008, and I never came back. But none of these apartments, I think, were here. This is all a pretty lower class area. So I'm just going to head on up to street level and we'll take a look around. And of all the videos I'm making in Korea, this is the one I'm most excited for. Yeah, I do not remember what exit number I went to, or I would normally take. It doesn't matter. A cool thing about this area, well, it could be cool or not cool, depending on how you look at it, is you almost never saw any other foreigners here. All right, there's a middle school to the right. That looks familiar, but let's go this way. And the station is called Singeumho. Shin meaning new, so this is New Gumho. There's another station called Gumho on line 3 that's much older. That is near here. And Gumodong is a neighborhood within Seongdong-gu. All right, that actually looks familiar. I think that's the direction I need to go in, but I want to take a look around here just because it's been so long. So every direction you take out of this neighborhood, you have to hike up. All right, I've got my bearings now. Gumho is off in that direction. Make sure that car's not gonna run me over. Mega coffee, that's new. And there's no university in this area or big language schools, so you tend to have an older crowd. And there used to be an LG U Plus store. That's a cell phone provider where I would get my pay-as-you-go SIM card topped up. That doesn't appear to be there. So I need to be going that way. Those apartments straight ahead are all brand new. And holy shit, it's still here, the Pamato. Excellent, affordable Korean food. used to eat there often. And my third night here, I came here with my roommate, well, who became my roommate. We didn't know we were going to be roommates. And we went to a bar, and they had nothing in English on their menu, and we hadn't yet learned how to read Korean or know anything that a bar like that would have, so we just kind of randomly pointed at things on the menu. Oh man, so many memories. So the apartment I used to live in is on the other side of the street. And this area is a lot nicer than I remember it. Hey, a Ford Bronco, that's a status symbol in Korea. There's a pretty heavy tariff on any imported vehicle. All right, this light is taking its sweet time to change here. I like how they have the arrows on the right side here. Yeah, people in this country don't follow that. Okay, let's go up towards the old apartments. That Home Plus Express has always been there. Home Plus is a big supermarket in Korea, and that's one of its smaller locations. And just up here on the left, there's a public park with a running track. And my roommate used to go there to work out. I've got those stairs blocked off. And yeah, this is all entirely new on the right. It used to be kind of, I don't know how else to say it, but really run down and very poor looking and feeling in terms of the neighborhood. And the city just came and cleared it all away and put in all these big apartment buildings. This is really shocking, actually. There was a lot of neat shortcuts you could take through there. As long as this left side of the street is unaffected, the apartment where I live should be intact. Uh-oh. These apartments are new up there on the left. Or new-ish. So here's the park with that running, or I guess walking track is more accurate. Now it's time to go down the hill. So back in 2007, I was at my first year at a big commercial insurance company doing a job, and everything was going really well. But I just kind of had this itch to get up and do something a little different with my life. So I started looking for jobs in Japan and Korea, mostly just to teach English for a year or two. That's all I intended on doing. I found a number of spots in Japan, but the pay wasn't commensurate with the cost of living in Tokyo, unfortunately, and you would often find that teachers lived outside of the neighborhoods where they worked. Whereas in Seoul, I would have made more money, been able to walk 5 minutes to work, actually, yeah, these older buildings behind were always here. And not knowing much about Seoul other than this area looked geographically in the middle pretty much. I took an offer at an English academy that used to be just up ahead. It closed up within a year after I left. I'm sure I had nothing to do with that. And then I came back and worked in Gangnam, right at Gangnam Station. That's a place I'm going to tonight actually to record. And I was in Gangnam for 4 years. And while I went back, I stayed with some friends. And I got a pretty good job offer from a big insurance company in Toronto. Right around the same time I got an offer from that school in Gangnam. And well, I chose to come back to Korea. Okay, so the fact that these buildings are all different across the street throws me off, but I used to live right over here. A building that they would call a villa. It's a small low-rise apartment building. I had a very large 3-bedroom apartment shared with a roommate. And there it is. So each unit has the whole floor to itself. I lived up on the 3rd floor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we didn't have a balcony, but we were up there. Wow. That is where I called home for a year. And that was my walk to the subway station. Quite a workout. And I can't say it has changed other than these things in front, I think, to prevent people from parking their cars here. I think those flip up. Oh, someone's coming. So the school had a lease at that building and some other apartments around here, and teachers were just kind of scattered amongst different buildings. But we clearly had the biggest apartment. We were able to have friends from overseas visit and stay in the spare bedroom. So when I was going to work, I would make a left here. And there's a few places I frequented quite often. One was called a Paris Baguette. It's just a cafe and bakery. I'd often get my lunch there, even though the school gave us free lunches. I guess you could say I wasn't a fan. The big supermarket that used to be there is gone. Like a cinema?
신속히 안전한 인도 방향으로 이동하세요.
I think right here was another building that the school leased. Oh, this one has fancy new bricks on it. There it is. Paris Baguette Cafe, where I would buy a sandwich almost every day without fail. All right, I'll just cross here. And my first several nights in Korea, because the teachers who lived at the apartment we moved into were still teaching. There's some overlap. We thought we were going into an apartment right away, but we were picked up by some old guy at the airport who took us on a public bus. Look at this, you can buy a table. And he took us to what I later found out was a love motel just over in that direction.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Nice.
우리 각자 남모녀 최고.
Number one?
네, 하나씩.
I am okay. 반갑습니다. I should have said 반가웠습니다. That means it was nice to meet you. Friendly guy. Oh, that Eddie Coffee, I think, has been there for a while. So that love motel was just over there. And the first thing that gave it away was the fact that all night long I kept hearing the sound of high heels and doors opening and closing. And in that building there, no, not in that building, in that building was the YBM ECC where I taught. All right, so another place I used to frequent. Oh, look at this. This apartment building has a playground, some outdoor exercise machines. Another place I used to go to was called Pizza School. And you would often get a pizza just for ochanwon, which is about $5. And they would make it and put it in a conveyor belt, and it would slowly cook and pop out finished on the other side, and then they'd wrap it or wrap the box with a red ribbon. And that way off in the distance is Wangsimni. It's a big train station. There's an E-Mart, which is kind of like the Korean Walmart there. And just on the other side of that, I believe, is Hanyang University. All right, what are the odds that the pizza school survived? It would be coming up here on the left. Well, I got time. I'm going to cross here. Now, I remember always thinking this church spire on the top of that building over there was a bit odd. So you'll mostly see three kinds of public buses here in Seoul. You'll see those little green ones, which are sort of neighborhood buses. They don't go very far out of the immediate neighborhood. Then you'll see the blue ones. Those can go across the entire city. And then you'll see the red ones. And those ones you can take out to the suburbs, like Gyeonggi-do and Bundang. I think if pizza school is here, I'm gonna have to. I had a kimchi jjigae for lunch, or rather for breakfast. And it's pretty much a Korean institution. But I think it was just down here on the left. There's also another subway station just down here called Haengdong. That one is on a different line from Singeumho, a less convenient line. Hence why I would often just go to Singeumho. Oh no. Oh, we just missed it. I am certain that was pizza school. That looks like their facade. No. No. Pizza school. Upside. Oh. That guy came out and was looking at me. Damn it. There's a Lotte Mart over there in that building with the weird church spire. And you'll notice how they write every business in that building on the side of it. So many of them, it's kind of hard to make out what's what. But I bet you in there there's a dental clinic, probably an orthopedic surgeon's office. All kinds of medical clinics. It's probably an accountant, several lawyers' offices. Here's Haengdong. Oh, Haengdong is line 5. Oh, I got that wrong. Of course it is, because it connects Singeumho to Wangsimni. There I go, talking out of my butt. Look at this smart shelter. What is this, the peasant shelter? There's another example of all the writing. On the side of a building. There's another church. So I wasn't down in this area too often, although there was a lot of really cheap barbecue restaurants straight ahead. Those were all around Hanyang University. This is kind of a more regular slice of Seoul outside of the glitzy, more popular, well-known areas. And usually figured to have seen several foreigners by now on a walk in this length pretty much anywhere in the city, but you'll notice not many in this area. Although I guess a lot of them might be indoors teaching right now. And on a few occasions when I had friends visit from Canada, I gave them directions to get off the airport bus, which lets off at this next major intersection. I would have them walk to my apartment with their bags. Both of them successfully did it. Well, that really wouldn't be necessary now. You could just take the airport train and connect to the subway and take that to Haengdong or Wangsimni. Or sorry, Singeumho. I am lacking on sleep. Oh, this school over here has a whole new facade. I would say this area is rather pleasant. Oh, there's an Isaac toast. I was looking for one of these this morning. That was a go-to come breakfast time. So the areas I'd often go to in Seoul on weekends would primarily be Hongdae and Sincheon. Occasionally Itaewon, which at the time was kind of a foreigner enclave. And occasionally Shincheon at night, which is different from Sincheon. But very seldom would we ever end up around here. All right, let's see if I can remember the route to Wangsimni. I do remember there used to be a little red light district around here. That was kind of interesting and caught me very off guard the first time I saw it. I think I need to double cross here. I'll be going in that direction. There's one of those blue buses. That one is going to Sincheon. That one says Gangnam Station and Itaewon. Yeah, I just want to go in that direction and then make a right. And we'll be at Wangsimni. It's amazing how for an Asian country, their vehicles are for the most part pretty much North American sized, except for little trucks and vans and that sort of thing, but the vehicles people choose to drive are much bigger than you'll see in your typical Asian country. You'd think something that was small and easy to park and maneuver would be kind of ideal for a city of this magnitude. I guess I'm going on the left here. I'm pretty sure you can get to Wangsimni that way. That's why everyone is going that way. I'm going to be stubborn and take this route. Should be just up here around the bend on the right. Okay. It's amazing how stuff doesn't bother me when I'm not in Toronto. People being inconsiderate when they walk, which honestly I think happens more in Toronto than here. Bad drivers and that sort of thing doesn't really bug me when I'm traveling. I guess when it's not your own backyard, it's easier to just shrug it off as the way it is. I think there's another subway station around here called Wangsimni. We have made it. There's a big dome golf center in the building. There's a big movie theater. I saw many movies there. And you can enter the station here. Line 2 and the purple line, and 2 commuter rail lines, I believe. I gotta turn my hotspot off on this phone here. It is sucking away my precious battery life. So this area is north of the Han River. Gangnam means south of the river, the Han River, of course. So you can cut through Wangsimni here, and the university is just on the other side, as well as a hospital. But I think I will try to find some lunch while I'm here. Maybe I'll go inside and have something. I think there's like a food court in there. This all looks exactly the same, even this little market out front. So this was fairly new, at least this building. I think the train station has been here for a while, but when I moved here back in 2007, yeah, there's the mall area on the left as well as the E-Mart. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly really enjoyed this one. Talk about a blast from the past. And you could grab line 2 or line 5 in there. Line 2 is very convenient. That's like the circle line. Hanyang University and the University Hospital where I once went. Maybe I'll save that story for another day. But there we go, a walk through childhood from Singeumho over to Wangsimni. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And if you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides. And there is a super thanks button appearing below the video if you wish to say thanks that way. And yeah, all those affordable restaurants, remember, are just down here. There's another subway entrance. So I might go do some exploring off camera. Yes, I do that sometimes. But I think that's about it, eh? All right, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.